Okay, so I'm ready. So if you have any questions, you can like write them. I have the convo on another screen, and we'll do. I will explain like pool by pool, and sorry, you stop me whenever you have a question. Also, hi. I think someone just joined. Oh, it's AC. Hi. I'm just doing a Karazhan onboarding.
Hello?
Hello, hello, hello.
What are you guys doing?
Little Karazhan session before Karazhan today with Penny.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, so let's get to the start. Okay, so Penny, there are three types of mobs before Atuman, two types of horses and one type of human ghosts. So the dangerous horses are the chargers. They are not on every pool, but basically, whenever there's someone at 8 to 25 yards range, they will from time to time charge that person. And after they've charged, they queue another ability that is an AoE fear. And if they don't have anyone in range, they will target the melee stack. So what we do is we bait the charges. We have also they batch melees that hit pretty hard. So we bait the charges with only one person staying out, everyone else stacking, like hugging the mob. And we keep fear wards, or we dispel. It's a magic dispellable debuff, the fear. Yeah. So if someone one day is assigned to bait those, they need to make sure they are always less than 25 yards, because it's actually pretty easy to be outranging it, and then the next thing you know, everyone's feared, and we pull a triple pack and we die, which has happened. So everyone else stays with the tanks, on the tanks when I mean, on the melee stack when charges are pulled, and that's when you need to really make sure that you are not pumping too much damage as a DPS, because first of all, you might not be used to having the melee threat threshold instead of the range threat threshold. So you can rip threat much easier in melee range than range, as you know. And also, um, whenever you rip threats, they will instantly smack you. And this leaves no time for tanks to taunt back or for buffs to come out and stuff like that. So just sit on your hands for a bit every time we start a pull, so that you don't die. For healers, big heals most often on the paladin tank, because they are very squishy. The spectral stallions, they don't do much, they just buff themselves, and when they have this buff, they have an aura that puts stacks of debuffs on us, and what you can do is offensive dispel this buff on the stallions themselves. Spectral stable hands, the annoying thing that they do is they heal others, so it must be interrupted. They can also stun, but it's only the tank. See, IC is not doing what we said, not sitting on his hand. Very funny. And
What? What'd I do?
you took the first hit right there, right here. IC smashing, trying to
Oh,
tank.
oh, that was the second pull. Yeah, I fucked that up, and I didn't do that anymore. I did the second pull. I didn't sit on my hands enough. Being newer with new gear, I thought that I'd be okay, but I got smacked in the mouth for it, and I realized that, and that was the only time I pulled right there.
Yeah,
In the whole dungeon, by the way.
but that's okay anyway.
Yeah, it's
That
funny
is okay.
you pick out that point,
Yeah,
and you
that.
sit on your hands, and I'm not sitting on my hands.
So that's all. Now the special stable hands. It's the same thing every single time. Here, see the damage that the charge can do. By the way, I'm full plate, heavy stam gear, heavy armor gear, and I have a lot of stuff, and I take 5k damage anyway, 5.5 or something like that. So that's like the equivalent of like what 11 to 12k raw damage. Whenever we see those doorways, you want to be so like from next pool onwards, we will be waiting like right there so that we line of sight the mobs when they come to us, because if we are in line of sight, they might want to charge even before reaching us. So as you can see, like people are standing right there. That's what you need to do. There's no charger in this pack, so that's why you see the hunters being far away. And you can do that as a squishy range DPS if you want, so that you can benefit from the 130 threat threshold instead of the 110 of the meta range. But only do that when there's a charger. If you're in doubt, always stay on the melees. That's what you can do to just avoid making any mistake. Same thing happens again, and same thing again. Now, so the bus is right there, but it's just the horse midnight right now is neutral, so we can pull the mobs that are on the other side, so we don't pull them during the encounter. We just do that for the first pack. They just do some AoE fire damage, stay at range and AoE them down. And now for midnight. So midnight will spawn at human when she reaches 95%, and then it's going to be like a two boss fight. And when one of each, I mean, when either reaches 25%, they will recombine, and that's when you need to be sitting on your hands again, because the moment they recombine is a threat drop. Whenever someone is at risk of dying, it is on the recombine, so phase 2, or like more like phase 3.
Give
Um,
us 2-3 seconds and you can start attacking because the tanks are gonna fight for it right there. You'll see.
yeah.
We're gonna be fighting hard.
So the thing as well is so Atumen has the kind of the same charge as the horses, but hits much harder. And sometimes he can batch up to 3 melees on you. And it doesn't. So before some patch, it used to only target the furthest player, but now it's at random among the players that are more than 8 yards away. So during phase 1 and phase 2, because they haven't recombined, they're not charging yet, you can stand kind of wherever you want. But when the moment they recombine, you stop damage and you go in melee range behind the boss, because Achievement cleaves. So you want to always be standing behind. So, so we will start with one tank. I'm also going to be judging at them going onto my charge baiting spot. And Atumen is going to appear now, so that's phase 2. When Atumen appears, obviously there's no threat on him, so you don't want to damage him immediately. And yeah, uh, Midnight sometimes stuns the tank, so that's okay. You just damage Midnight as a DPS, by the way, because they recombine whenever they have 25%, so you just want to make them recombine. And now that phase 2 happens, phase 3, sorry, boom, all DPS stop damage, and everyone should go melee range behind the boss. So he will charge me from time to time. Sometimes he doesn't do it, sometimes he does it like 5 times. But no matter what, whenever he's going to be running back, you don't want to be standing in front of him because you could get cleaved. So as much as you can, whenever he charges, he cannot charge again for like 5 seconds. So he's gonna like charge me, and then you kind of move away just a little bit, and then when he's back and you're not in front of him, you can like go back and really hug behind. You see Fibbles trying to bait the charge to protect me because this is my ult, like pretty squishy compared to my main, but he's not gonna really succeed. I'm gonna be charged anyway. I think I only get charged once. But yeah, what you do is you don't stand in front, you don't rip threats, and and yeah, and you make sure that on transition you don't do anything stupid. And there you go. Okay, so now we can move. So now it's like the Grand Ballroom. There's a lot of packs, a lot of mobs, and they're different. So sometimes we have what we call an AoE pack. There's nothing that you need to think about except just AoE them down. Make sure you are always max ranging. Like, I'm really not kidding. It happens very, very, very often that they just start running to whatever ranged ripped threat, and you could die from this. It's really, really serious. So you always want to be max ranging so that you give time for a buff to come onto you, for your soul shatter to cast, or for a tank to grab them back. So that's the thing. Now there's another type of pack that is the retainer pack that you see right here. Every time we will say that there's a retainer pack, you need to be very, very like locked in. The retainer, what they do is that as long as they're alive, they will mind control one of us, and so that's why on these packs, these are not AoE packs, these are retainer packs. We do not AoE. We just single target, burst down the retainer as fast as we can, so that the MC'd player does not like stay MC'd for long. By the way, you can petri off the MC. You can like ice block it, bubble it. You can use your undead uh, racial. But most importantly, we need to CC whoever's being MC'd and mono target the retainer. And when the retainer is dead, then the MC is freed and we can AoE the rest.
It
Um,
can be grounded, and the tank needs to have aggro on everything, so that way, if they get
yeah,
MC, they can't get MC'd. If they have aggro on retainer,
yeah.
they can't get
The
MC.
top
So
threat
tank needs
is
everything.
not MC'd, yes. And also, if you have so technically, if you have a a shaman in your group, you couldn't get MC'd if they play properly. So that's the thing. Now there's other mobs. Um, so that's a retainer. So now it's a valet. The valets are the mobs that you should be. Some of the mobs you should be the most afraid of. The valets, they hit harder than some bosses. They are some of the hardest hitting mobs in the entire game, and they cannot be taunted. They run super fast, and they would one shot you. They can also one shot a hunter in melee, by the way, and they cannot be taunted. So if you rip threat, you can say goodbye to your tune. It's just simple as that. You won't even have really time to soul shatter or anything of the sort. You're dead. They really run super fast. They also like destroy tanks, so big heals on them every single time. Biggest heals, longest casts, like everything you can to
They
bump
have
our
a
healing.
debuff that rips all of our armor, like everything. So once they hit us, we're yeah, we're
No,
paper.
that's the
Oh wait, that's the brittle guy, brittle bones
yeah.
from the other guy.
Yeah, so that's why both of them at the same time is GG. But the valets hit hard, and the servants is no, it's not servants. Like, don't know
No,
what's the
what's the
name. The
bones called?
Yeah, the bone guy reduces the waiter. Yeah, so
The
waiters
waiter, yeah.
destroy your armor. The valets destroy you. So both of them at the same time is your tank gets one shot basically. But we don't pull them at the same time. So valet, every time you see a valet, I'm not kidding, you wait like a huge amount of seconds before you do any damage because those guys have killed and will keep killing DPS that are not careful. It has happened a lot. It will continue to happen.
We can't
And
taunt any of these things. All these mobs he's talking about, the next three, are all untauntable.
yeah,
So
absolutely. So now inside Moreau's room, there's a lot of AoE packs again and some waiters that could and should be pulled separately. As we said, they do this debuff that destroys your armor. It's a curse, so it could be decursed. And now those guys. So those guys, much like the valets and some of like a few select types of mobs in Karazhan, hit harder than some bosses. They can and they have one-shot some tanks. IC sadly was victim of that. Uh, so they're called the stewards, and they come by packs of two, and they stun the tank as well, removing their avoidance. So whenever you're a tank, you want to pull them with a FAP running, and they need to be killed one by one because at under 50% HP, they enrage and do even more damage. So, and this is when they can really kill tanks. So, only one needs to be under 50% at all times. We kill Skull first and then X. And yeah, also they cannot be taunted, and they would definitely one-shot a squishy DPS. They could also one-shot a hunter. Let's see, for example, what I just want to show, like,
Warrior even, because we're in half leather. Warrior survive
true
from them.
that they would get one shot. Like, for example, so that was yesterday, this Karazhan that I'm showing, but this Karazhan from last week, just looking at, like, this happened, and it happens all the time. By the way, some of those people don't deserve to be alive. Not even kidding. Hee. Um, like, watch. So Wendy and Brump are gonna rip threat, and watch Brump's HP, and he's in full mail. So I bop when, so it goes on Brump. So that was a normal hit, not even a crush, not even a crit.
Wasn't even a crit, yeah.
So he could have definitely died, and yeah, that's something that happens. Mm, Steroids, valets, they would kill you. You cannot do that. So going back, for healers, you need to pre-cast and always be casting your max ranks on those guys. Oh, by the way, I see. Yeah, I'm filming. I'm recording, like, for future newer players. So that's why I'm
Perfect.
explaining everything. So max rank of your biggest heals, you precast and you focus both tanks, but especially the one that is tanking the mob that is enraged under 50% HP. And we pull back all of the AoE packs every time. And yeah, that's when you have fun seeding as a warlock. But it's really easy again to pull to rip threat. So, like, always be max ranging, always be careful, use soul shatter, don't be stupid, please. Also, yeah, we don't have an infinite amount of buffs. So now it's gonna be steroids again. So biggest heals. Here our tanks are some of the most geared we have. Um, so that it doesn't look like they are in much trouble, but like we've had tanks die in one global. Like literally between two heals they died. So they really need to be giga healed. Healers cannot afford to heal anyone else. Now Morose. So Morose, it's an annoying fight to explain because there's four ads that are randomly selected from a set of six, and all of them are a different class and have different abilities. They have like four abilities each. One is a priest, one is a paladin, one is a holy pally, one is a red pally, one is an arms warrior, another is a fury warrior, another is a shadow
And a
priest.
brat warrior, right?
Yeah, so like they have a lot of different stuff, and they need to be like managed accordingly. But there's like some very simple rules. First of all, so Morose himself, he's like the common denominator every time. So Morose, what he does is he will gouge frequently the top threat, so whoever's tanking him. And when he's gouging that player, he will go and attack second threat. So that means that both tanks need always to be top two threat. You can never be second threat if you're not the tank. He will gouge if you are facing him. So technically, if you have enough aggro, if you have enough threat on him, you could like turn your back and not get gouged. And also you could turn your back and step back into him so that you can keep attacking him because you are inside his hitbox, but you're still facing away from him, so he can't gouge, but you can still attack. Like it's actually something you can do. Um, but yeah. And another thing is every so often he will poison the closest target to him, which will make them stunned, and it can be poison dispelled. And to counter this, we have a melee DPS always stand in the center of his hitbox. So someone is always at the center, and it should be a DPS. Otherwise, we can use Hunter Pet, but then that means the tank shouldn't be able to. I think cannot do the face away and go inside the hitbox because then he would be closer than the hunter pet. So anyway, usually we have at least one melee DPS, so the melee DPS does that. And also every so often, Morose will vanish and disappear completely and do nothing, which is cool, for like a few seconds. Then he reappears and will garrote someone chosen at random. Garrote is just a 10-minute long, 10 minutes or like 5 minutes, or like a very, very long dot that can be bopped, and otherwise you just heal that person periodically. Hots should suffice if you have, but yeah. And at 20% or like 25%, he will enrage and do increased damage. By this point, no other ads should be alive, so all the others should be shackled. So he would be the only one, so that is healable completely. By the way, he can leave his room, but the encounter resets if the ads leave the room, which is also a reason why you should be very careful when you're using turn evil. If they are not in this cubby, they could like run away and reset by leaving the room. Um, so yeah, now, so the girls, there's two type 2 characters right there. Uh, if the priest is there, you want to shackle her. She's the number one priority to shackle because she has a dispel, so she can dispel a lot of stuff, and the other CCs. So her CC is the prior. If she's not here, then the Holy Paladin, and otherwise, like, just have fun. The guys should be killed first, and tanked by the Paladin. So basically, what we would do on pool is we MD Morose onto the non-Paladin tank so that the Paladin tank can generate threat to be second threat thanks to Consecrate, while also tanking the others. So Consecrate should be put like around here, like at bottom of the stairs-ish, and Morose should be tanked on the Consecrate, and the CC'd ads should be CC'd when they are still on this platform. So like we shackle on pool while the MD, I mean just after the MD hits, shackles going out, Fear Undead's going out on another. We kill two of them in the Consecrate while Morose is also being tanked, and then we kill the last one when Turn Undead finishes or breaks, and like we use other stuns like rogues and paladin stuns and stuff like that, and we kill them. If there is Lord Robindaris, who is the Fury Warrior, right? I think I mean the guy with Whirlwind. Then all melee DPS need to either be out of range of him at all times. They let the ranged kill him, or they are ready to run away. However, they could get CC'd themselves inside the whirlwind, and if that happens, they die. It has happened to Teda.
Very important to get out. It's a two-handed whirl, so it hits extremely hard. You can either
Yeah,
tank it out or you CC him out to
yeah,
the end, one
and
or the
and he
other.
can batch also melee at the very end. So yeah, Teda died like this. He was too close to the guy and ripped. I mean, he didn't even rip threat, but he got killed. And so yeah, always be max ranging as a ranged on this fight, and make sure you do not rip threat, because if you do, that's like very bad, because the paladin cannot leave his consecrate, so like you're kind of fucked if that happens. So yeah, as a priest, you want to always be in line of sight of the shackled mob so that you reshackle every time. As a paladin, once your first turn undead is broken, you can hotch the mob, and then when your turn undead is back, you want to cast turn undead on the shackled mob so that if shackle breaks, then turn undead is still there. So while shackles away, this shackled mob will not like go and wreak havoc or like dispel CCs on others and stuff like that. It's really good. And at the end, there's one shackled mob that is away from the fight, and just Morose. We just kill Morose, and we kill the shackled mob, and GG. So that's what we're gonna do. We're preparing Misdirect onto the bear, and the paladin will use the shield, and I am turning evil. However, there was a resist, so we had to fight this guy immediately. By the way, I trolled because I stayed in melee range and they interrupted me, Lamau, because I don't know why I never do that, but I was kind of not in my right mind yesterday.
Complacency kills.
Exactly, to be honest. Yeah, very unlike me, but it happened, right?
Yes, sir. We're all human.
And uh, and yeah, so now Morose finishes now and chooses bubble, so I am bopping the dot away. Now you see there was a shackle broke, and Bubble is not shackling again because Bubble was not on the right positioning. He should be standing on the stairs. So now he shackles again, and we keep killing Morose. Morose is gonna enrage right here. And as you can see, Icy is soaking the poison stun because he is the closest of the center of the hitbox, so that's really good.
I soaked
Uh,
the blind too, which is really good.
yeah, that's the blind. That's the blind.
Gotcha. Okay.
And uh, and there you go. And now we kill this last girl. I didn't go over all of their abilities, but I went over like the important ones, like the Dispel, the Whirlwind. If you have offensive dispels, you want to dispel also Blessing of Might that the Red Paladin gives to everyone, because he will definitely buff them all, and it makes a difference, especially for the Whirlwind. The Whirlwind that killed Teda had Blessing of Might. So, and then, like we're here again, it's going to be a lot of AoE packs, Retainer packs. Right here, you can see. Consecrate is obviously the only AoE that you see just because that Paladin needs to like get aggro on those, but no AoE on those packs until the Retain is dead. And when the Retain is dead, like yes, you have fun with the AoEs. So same thing, a lot of the same. Now the Guardsmen, they don't do much except that they will spawn Phantom Hounds. Phantom Hounds spawn with 0 threat, so most likely they will go to the melees, but sometimes they go to ranged DPS as well due to like some AoE. This is why you always want to be max ranging. Max ranging. Max ranging is going to be the name of the game every single time, especially on this corridor that we're about to enter. Now, on this corridor, there's different types of mobs. First is this pair of guardsmen, which used to be bugged, but now only one of them is bugged. So before they used to be on a some sort of reset spot and they would not like come to you, and when you pulled them, they would wait 5 to 10 seconds and they instantly TP onto you. Now one of them still does that, the other doesn't do. But that means that if you are a DPS or a squishy DPS or especially a healer, you don't want to do any threat until both have reached the tanks, whether by teleporting or running, because otherwise you will be the one with threat. They will instantly like TP to you and one shot you. You definitely could be like two shot, definitely two shot. I has a full plate on my main with the shields. They in one global I was half health, so be careful. Yeah, 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 and we kill them now. So there's like patrol. So now there's like all these concubines types of mobs. They all have some AoE abilities, which we don't have to like go into detail, I guess, but what you have to know is always be max ranging, especially be using this corridor that I'm the only one in because I'm the only one respecting the content, I guess. But a lot of people have almost died there, especially healers. You should be like using the corridor. This pack, we usually want to banish one and use this other like entrance from where we came from to line of sight them until they run to us. So they do some AoE auras that increases the damage you take, stuff like that, and they all transform into something at 50%. Whenever they transform, they unlock new spells, and they like that means that we only wanna like get them under 50% one by one in a specific order. I think I don't even know.
It's paramours and consorts. So paramours and consorts are the only two that at 50% they do a succubus mode, and it will basically just seduce everyone in melee range. So because of that, you need your second tank to either be second or pull out and taunt whenever it goes to second target. But those are the targets that matters. Will you normally banish a demon, shackle a priest, or shackle a undead, excuse me. So then we
Yeah.
have to deal with two at a time. Totally fine.
And so basically, if you see right here, all only the melees should get the aura. So Luin's too close, but that's
The
everyone
aura is
else is.
from the Night Lord. It's a 20% melee reduction aura. So that's why we get rid of the Night Lord first because it increases our damage overall by getting rid of him first.
Nice, nice. And this is really bad. So, I mean, this is good because only the four melees got hit. But I've seen runs where almost everyone gets hit. And this is like heavy shadow damage that everyone takes at the end of this debuff. And like, it's bad. Like, you should be outranging it at all times if you are ranged. And also
Night
the other
Lord,
reason,
Host, and Hostess will be your first three kill targets almost always. Your paramours and your other one will be last always because of being demons.
yeah. And also, so like, they seduce, they do some stuff. So that's why we want tanks to be top two threats and not be in melee range when they. So like, for example, if one mob were to seduce everyone around, then with the top two threat tank should be away from this mob so that he doesn't get seduced either, and then the mob goes to that tank after seducing everyone else around them.
You can resist it and you can interrupt slash stun the seduce. So try to. It's roughly 50% that they cast it.
And so those packs, it happens really often that some tanks messes up, and they both get charmed or stunned, and they also get silenced, which can be dispelled. So range DPS and melee DPS very often get some aggro. They could definitely kill you. So again, max range. Play carefully, watch your threat, use your use your range. So now Maiden of Virtue. Maiden of Virtue, she's inside this room. We want to position in some way. I'll explain why. But you can pre-position in this room as long as you're hugging. It's pretty easy to accidentally pull her. She has one-shot a lot of priests, especially priests, who mistakenly pulled her. So do not. I mean, even myself once, but I didn't die. But I did as pull her once. So So what she does is this golden thing around her is an aura that deals damage, holy damage, like every like 2 seconds, and silences everyone every time it pulses for 1.5 seconds. So you're almost always silenced since you're in it. Technically, there's like a release. Every pulse, you still have like a little time to cast something if you want to. But yeah, and yeah, and it deals damage around her. The other ability she has is Holy Fire. She will select someone at random and deals them enormous damage and puts a magic dispellable debuff onto them that will definitely kill them if it's not dispelled or healed through, but it's much better to dispel because it's giga damage. Like it's really not worth trying to heal through. You want to dispel, but your first reaction could be sometimes to want to heal because the very first instant of damage is instant and it's like half health someone, but you want to dispel first and then heal. The other ability she has is Holy Wrath. Again, select someone at random and it's a chain lightning bounce that will deal increasingly more damage every time it bounces, infinitely, exactly like Zeliek in Nextramas or Cthulhu, and will definitely kill people if they are stacked. So we don't want more than 3 melees. And so often we have like some people who can flex to their range or healing spec or just stay out. It doesn't work on pets, by the way, so you pets can be in. And yeah, she will like select people and do that. So that's why we are spreading out. By the way, we are giving instruction beforehand so that everyone's in a circle, and you want to stand inside the pillars because you want to be in line of sight of a dispeller. If you cannot dispel yourself, you want to be able to be dispelled. Otherwise, you die. Miriziba died to this. Um, we've had a lot of priests die, especially on this fight. Um, as Warlock, you could dispel yourself with your Fell Hunter, and you can help dispelling with the Fell Hunter as well. So if you're scared that you do not trust your dispellers, you can do that. Um, and then last ability she has is Repentance. At some point, there will be a window opening during which she can use Repentance. It puts us all in a gouge state that is dispellable by the Fell Hunter and by a Petri and Bubble and Ice Block and taking damage. So if you are inside this aura, you will be dispelled instantly. So all the melees won't be stunned. Uh, Now for the ranged. So obviously someone needs to keep healing. So there will be 1, 0, 1, or even 3 repentance, depending on our damage. So we want to be like rolling the different solutions to the repentance problem. Usually the first one we have the Holy Paladin just bubble and be max giga healing everyone, especially the tank. Because when she uses repentance, she doesn't use anything else for like a bit of time. So you can just focus heals on the tank. And then for the second time she does repentance, we could have like another paladin bubble, but also the tank can drag her towards one of the healers to wake them up and then drag her back to the center of the room so that there's no risk of chaining to too many people and people being one shot by the chain lightning. And the other thing that you can do, obviously, soft cores will say blessing of sacrifice, which obviously is a trap. You should never learn that in hardcore. So that's why we have this item, the Sulfuron Slammer. Sulfuron Slammer, you just spam it nonstop when Repentance window is open, and it will deal very little damage to you every second for 4 seconds, and it will wake you from Repentance. So you can keep dealing damage, so it shortens the fight, which is better for safety, and also you can keep healing if you're a healer. So like if you have Sulfuron Slammers, always be using them. They are acquired in BRD, but in open economy, you can get them at the auction house. Sometimes it's expensive, sometimes not. So let's see. So here, because she doesn't have Chain Lightning yet for a few seconds, I can go in melee range to judge. Then we lost, and we just heal. So here, this example, Lewin, almost half health from the first instance of Holy Fire, and thankfully instantly dispelled. So now Repentance will. So that was a Holy Wrath. She chain lightning Crimson, but Crimson's far enough away from everyone. So only one instance of damage, one bounce. Repentance will open soon, so I'm ready to bubble. She will Holy Fire A, instant dispel. And you see, like every time melees take this aura damage, they are silenced for like, well, like I think it's like 1 second. It's like 1.5 seconds they take damage and are silenced for one. It's something like that. I mean
Yeah,
the
so it's hard to get up your demo and thunderclap, but you definitely want to as a warrior.
yeah. So like actually like everything's written right here, but like every 2 seconds and silenced for one. Okay. So now repentance is going to be cast. And now I'm bubbling and I'm healing Fibble. Fibble is one of our tankiest bears, so he doesn't take a lot of damage, but be ready to pump Giga heals on the tanks if it's not a beefy tank. And one other thing, so I'm not using Suffering Slammers because we only had one Repentance and I just used Bubble for this. But also, one last thing, as the tank is one side, obviously the melees are on the other side, but they want to be max ranging because you don't want the bounce to be bouncing from the melees to the tank or the tank to the melees. Otherwise, heavy damage on all the melee stack and like there could be deaths. Okay, so now another like retainer pack, and now the skeletal ushers. Again, those mobs hit harder than some bosses and they cannot be stunned, and they will definitely one-shot you. So what do they do? First of all, they will, from time to time, like encase into a block of ice the top threat, so the tank, and immediately go to attack the second threat. So at all times, you can never be second threat unless you're a tank. The issue is they will not encase an ice a tank that is already encased in ice. So if we are fighting both at the same time, they might uh, like stun both tanks and then go destroy all the melees. Those guys will one-shot you. And two at the same time on one tank could very easily kill the tank as well. So even like if we don't have shackles, we could try three tanks. We have tried. We almost died. So like it's dodgy anyway. But now nowadays we always have a priest in the roster. Sometimes we have a priest come in just for these, and then go out. So we we start by sending Avenger's Shield on both, so that the Paladin is top threat on both. Once top threat is uh, like established on the second one, we shackle the second one, so that we're only fighting this first one now. He also does a Frost Shock to secondary targets, and whenever there is no one in melee range of him, he unlocks an ability that that's the same ability as the spiders in Extramas, or that the I think in Wrath the DKs have, which they select you from far away and boom, they bring you to them. So like from 30 yards away, they can grab you and say, "Back to me," and you're teleported into melee range of them, and you die unless you're a tank. So um, what we do is they don't use it immediately, but like for a few seconds after they're pulled, they can use it if there's no one in melee range. So this guy will go to the um, the tank, and now people are in melee range, so it's okay. And we make sure Feeble is second threat. So now when Sing is going to be okay, so there's a shackle break, which is exactly what I want
We
to show.
also allow the second tank to pick up the second target, so that way it has secondary
Yeah,
aggro. There's no aggro whatsoever on that healer.
yeah, that's what I want to explain. But this one is a break shackle. So
Yeah, we had a weird one.
let's have the second pull first because this one was normal. So this is as it should go. As you can see, Fibble is tanking, Sing is second threat. And as a healer, especially as a paladin, so that was Frost Shock, by the way. Especially as a paladin, I'm just looking at the second one in case he breaks. Now, okay, so we killed this guy very fast, but he should have at some point encased Fibble in ice and started hitting Sing. Okay, so that's normal. So that's why they are top two. Top two. Now, when we want to engage the second one, we have used Avengers Shield for the Paladin to have threats. So now we want a second target because very often they will immediately use the Encase in Ice ability upon stopping, upon like leaving CC. So we want someone to already be in melee range. Otherwise, they will use their grab ability, and they will most likely kill the priest because Shackle does a lot of threat, and they will like just encase an ice stop threat, so the paladin, and then boom, the priest dies. So we want the second tank to be in melee range and be the one to break the shackle by doing damage. So that's what happens. Fibble opens with Mangle, and immediately you see he ice storms Thing, except A had Rip Threat. He Fibble missed Mangle. So A dead should be dead right now, by the way. I bopped him, so I saved him. He should definitely be dead. Oh my god, I'm so good. I didn't know I saved him. I thought he I thought he used the feign in time, but not. So that's bad. Also, that's also why you need to be max ranging, because he could not grab A because there were people in melee range of him, but A was like right there, so he should be dead. Like like this is troll. Like this is legit troll. Right now, oh my god! And Fein resisted, by the way. That's crazy. Okay, or did it? I mean, he kept looking at him anyway. So
Yeah, resisted.
yeah. And so for the first one, right here, we will have a shackle break, which is the worst thing that could happen. For that, we want the priest to be breaking line of sight from the shackle. So technically, Bubble's not positioning perfectly. He should be hugging this wall right there because the grab ability does go through line of sight, but your body will not go through the wall. So even if you're like standing right there, he will grab you and you will like splash into the wall and stop. And he will like drag you a bit. So if you're there, you'll like be like boing and stop right here. And that's what you want, because otherwise you're dead. So right here, there's going to be a shackle break. And thankfully, he decided not to use his grab ability. But we had an instant shackle again. So really good from Bubble. And yeah, we did that. But like we've had deaths. We've had deaths and a lot of near deaths from this. You need to be max ranging and very, very, very ready to battery. I would really even suggest you don't even try to soul shatter because soul shatter can be resisted. So if this happens, just battery if it's on you. So that was a lot of time for these packs, but these are some of the most crazily deadly mobs. Now, so we are here. We will uh, like grab those mobs from upstairs and bring them back. So performers, they have a melee ability. Sorry. On secondary targets in melee range, that is bad pottery. It's just asleep. Magic dispel that, and tank them away from each other so that they don't sleep. The tank. So, and they do this spotlight. So whenever there's a spotlight, whoever's inside the spotlight gets increased damage. So you'd like to be in the spotlight as a DPS and you want to bring them out of the spotlight, especially because when they die, they explode in an explosion of fire. And if they are inside the spotlight when they explode, it's huge damage. So at all times, as range, you want to never be hit by the death explosion, of course. And also, if you can do that and at the same time be inside the spotlight, you want to do it.
If you pull over 3, I'd suggest starting to pop extra stuff because they have a stun on the tank that can hurt them very bad. So if you pull over 3, it can be very deadly.
Yeah. And now stage hands. So stage hands they are the equivalent of valets and stewards. They cannot be taunted. They run super fast, and they can one-shot tanks. They can two-shot tanks. And they patrol, so there's a possibility to like pull a lot at the same time. So that's how Lewin and Laxia died. So at all times you want to be max ranging those stage hands, and you can never rip threat. Like you're dead if you rip threat. Also, sometimes they will like look at other people just to throw some weapon mallet toss at them. It's not that you rip threat; it's just that they do that. And yeah, we need to be really careful with patrols. Be really careful with the spotlights and kill them one by one. And like we go through backstage, and now we start the opera. Oh my god, do we have to explain the three opera bosses? Okay,
You
so
want me to explain it how I normally explain it, or do you want to do it?
but I don't know. Just first, let's say so. Opera, it's a boss that is at random selected between three, but you don't know what you are fighting until it starts. Okay, so that's the tricky part. So you need to be prepared to fight all three before you pull. When once you talk to Barnes, he will start the encounter, and the second quote will tell you what you're fighting. So there could be the Big Bad Wolf, Romulo and Julian, or the Wizard of Oz. This means it's Romulo and Julian. By order of difficulty, it's easiest Romulo and Julian, then the Wizard of Oz, and then the Big Bad Wolf. Big Bad Wolf has killed people a lot and is the most dangerous and the scariest. Thankfully, Big Bad Wolf is the only encounter that does not really start immediately. It just makes Grandma appear, and when we talk to Grandma, the wolf appears. But so we can like do explanations and training beforehand if it's the wolf. Otherwise, the other two will start immediately. Let's start with just Romeo and Julian. We're good. I'm tired. Sure.
Romeo and Julian come out at different times. Julian's going to come out first. There's a certain spell that needs to be interrupted called Eternal Affection. It will heal the target that she is targeting, so herself or Romeo, depending on what's out. Once we kill her, then Romeo comes out. We kill him. He doesn't have any special abilities, just needs to be tanked. Probably put your beefier tank on Romeo. It just makes it easier because he does hit a little bit
I
harder.
mean, he does have a cleave, so melee is stand
Yeah, hit a
behind.
cleave, face him away. Yeah.
He has like a poison, but like just dispel that.
But yeah, then they come up together after you kill him, and that's the most important time to interrupt that eternal infection because you want to kill them at the same time. Killing them at different times resets their health, so you want to make sure they die roughly the same time.
Yeah, and it's not like in Naxxramas where you have a bit of time to kill them. Like they need to be killed in 5 seconds of each other. Like it's really, really, the timing is really, really tiny. So you cannot roll like having one at 1% and one at 10%. Like they need to be brought down at the same time. Also, Julian will also select people at random and cast something that is called, what is it called?
It's binding something, right?
Yeah, Binding Light, I think.
I think
But
it's binding something.
Binding of, no, cast it. Binding Passion. So Blinding Passion, she selects people at random. This can be interrupted, but it's not the prio. So if you can interrupt only one, you want to interrupt the heal. Binding Passion, it does heavy damage to someone, and then it leaves a dot on them that deals even more damage. And this, unlike Maiden, cannot be dispelled. So what you want is you see who she's targeting, and you are precasting heals on them, and then healing again. So let's see, because she's gonna manage. So on Crimson, I'm precasting, and then healing, and then healing, and then healing.
Yo, Roseberry.
Yo,
Um, did you guys have to like? Does your client close out of you guys at all?
No.
client. No, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
I'm recording
No, I'm playing. It's
explanations.
fine.
I wasn't attacking any mobs, and my game closed out to update, and I logged in, and I'm a ghost.
What? What on which character?
Mindcast.
Oh no! What? I'm so sorry. Where
Yeah,
were
that
you?
stinks. That sounds like a personal computer update, though, right?
No, it was Burning Crusade that updated,
Uh, what?
and I
I'm so
wasn't
sorry,
even
man.
attacking. Like there was no mobs near me, so like, uh,
That's so weird.
what? There's no way, man.
Fuck, I'm so sorry.
How the fuck does that happen?
I don't know, where were you?
I had just killed like a couple spiders in Dustwallow Marsh, and I was drinking, and then my game closed out and tried updating, and then after the update, I logged in, and now it says I'm a ghost.
Fuck. I think you got false layered.
No, I don't think he got the full update from Tuesday. I think his update was on pause, and it decided to do an update when he was in game. Always check to make sure all your updates are fully established and fully done. But I think it tried
You
to
see,
hit you with an update
I'm
during
gonna have
your
to
gameplay.
pause you for a second
Yeah,
because I am very religious on updating.
really? Then
I
I don't
feel
know
like
why
it's
it would
some
update.
Blizzard
I've
fuck
spent the
up.
last 3 days updating and working on add-ons.
Oh, 100%. But they just came out with a new, like it was down for 8 hours, right, on maintenance day. So if it's down for 8 hours, that means there's a lot of updates and a lot of changes that were done to things, and it means our add-ons
Which
are
were
not gonna
installed.
work. Well, it doesn't mean that our add-ons are gonna work immediately, right? When an update like that happens, it usually takes a day or two to establish everything. So if you run out of date add-ons, you are likely for DCs. I don't know. Why did he just leave?
I don't know. It just feels bad, I guess. It's his
I
main
don't know. I
that
was trying to
died.
explain it to him. That sucks really bad though. But it's the game. I had a force
Yeah,
DC yesterday, so that's why I know it.
yeah. But because I'm recording this for YouTube, so let's just focus.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean it's not you. It's just like I didn't want to tell him like, but like we're recording stuff right now. Okay, so Romulo pops up. Obviously, sit on your hands at first. You cannot be taunted, by the way, so don't rip threat. Um, and so yeah, dispel the poison as fast as you can, and just stand behind him. Don't rip, kill him. Then both of them, so you do both at the same time. And yeah, powerful attraction is a stun, by the way. So yeah. Now for the big bad wolf, the one you should be scared of. So that's how it starts. Grandmother's right there. Okay. And so when we start the fight, we will want to bring. So she turns into the wolf. We will want to bring her right here on this corner, and everyone else stands on this corner except for melees, obviously. But so every so often, he will choose someone at random, turn them into the Little Red Riding Hood, and it silences you and removes your armor and makes you slightly faster than him. He's really fast, but you're a bit faster. However, you're not as fast as using a speed pot, which you could and should do if you have to. It's much better, but I'll explain why. So when he turns you into the Little Red Riding Hood, he fixates on you and decides that you're tanking now, except you can't because you don't have armor, so he will kill you if he reaches you. So now you have to like run around the room and use those props as obstacles for him to stop him from killing you. However, if he cuts corners, he might very well reach you. And if he reaches you, consider yourself dead. He can cut corner if you're too slow and if you're too fast. Ideally, when you are running, you want to be strafing. You don't want to be running. So like right now, I was like playing the wolf, but this is how you should do. So like, imagine I'm right here, and someone says, I mean, Roseberry. So I'm strafing. I'm strafing left, and I am like using those props, and he will like run behind me. But because I'm strafing, he has a lot less chance to daze me, crit me. I can still dodge, I can still parry, I can still block. So that's why you don't want to run, you want to strafe. And yeah, so that's how you do. However, if it's your first time getting turned into the Little Red Riding Hood, we recommend using Petri. Obviously, you're out of the fight, but it's much better than dying. We lost too many people, and especially good players. Yeah, you could also face plant into the props like Snow did and die because you face plant and he reaches you and you die. So, so yeah. If you're confident, you want to do the strategy like you want to run, but if you're not, especially on your first time, please just Petri. Also, he really loves turning people into the Red Riding Hood immediately upon uh, spawning. And when he starts from the middle of the room, you're definitely doomed. He he just has a direct path to you. You cannot go anywhere else. He will reach you. So the first person that gets turned into the Red Riding Hood has to Petri if it's on pull, if it's before he reaches this corner. It's gonna be me, and I'm gonna Petri. So yeah. Yeah. If you're a druid, you can use a dash or sprint or whatever. If you are a hunter or a rogue, you can vanish and feign, but you need to wait until the Red Riding Hood debuff has fallen off before canceling feign and vanish. Otherwise, he will remember that you exist and start fixating you again. So yeah, and that's also he has an AoE fear that he uses very often. It can be magic dispelled, can have tremor totems, and otherwise we just kill him whenever we can. Also, when we have paladins, we want to have a buff rotation on whoever is being turned into the Red Riding Hood, depending on what they do. So, if they are doing the run, then you can either buff them immediately or buff them whenever the boss is like clearly catching up on them. But the thing is, the Red Riding Hood debuff is longer than buff. So if you buff too early and they get um, overwhelmed at the end, they will die anyway. He can one shot and two shot people. So it's bad. But if they are petriing immediately, obviously you don't buff them. So let's see this fight. Oh yeah. So we do every time trainings. So I am Diamond, and I will give like I will say a name. So for example, this is when. Oh, it's I said Rump and he didn't go, so he was dead. So now this is when. But she like here I cut the corner because she went too fast. Oh yeah, you wanna like keep an eye on him every time because if you go too fast or not, he will like cut the corner and kill you. But you can, especially on this big house, is when you can like force him to take this. If you don't go like around the corner too fast, he will like have to go the long way, and that's when you get momentum, you get tempo. So yeah, right here, that's why we always have three healers for this fight because here all three healers will be targeted, and there's only two people in Petri at the same time. So that means there's always one healer. So that's exactly, he tried to make us all Petri, all the healers Petri, but because there were three of us, there was always someone out of Petri. So here, he immediately turned me into the Red Riding Hood. So, by the way, I skipped this part, but like, so we're like, okay, gonna pull now. And now it says, you're the Red Riding Hood. And I'm like, okay, Petri instantly. If he reaches me, he can one-shot me. So now I'm stuck in Petri, does the fear with the spell, bring him back to the tank spot. And from here, he's not in the right position. He should be much more in the corner. Yeah. And now you want to wait until he's a little bit close to you before running, because otherwise he will like cut corner like he's doing right now. So uh, Athena gets overwhelmed and has to Petri because Athena went too fast and he didn't go around those trees. So he was about to cut corner and Athena would be dead if he didn't Petri. Also, the Beadbad Wolf was not properly positioned. And now it's gonna happen again. And it's gonna be Guts, the third healer, being chosen. And Guts will. So I'm bopping because I see that the wolf is cutting corners because Guts panicked and he didn't wait enough. But the wolf is clearly. He's clearly gonna kill him. So at the end of Bop, at the very end of Bop, he petried. He had to petri now, otherwise, he was dead. So like clearly he kept cutting corners. Like that was over for him. So now the fear, the spell, and we kill the wolf. So while all of this is happening, all the DPS that can, they want to be pumping damage as much as they can. And now it's Fibble, the tank. So Fibble immediately dashes, and there you go. If you do run, I really recommend you use. You can use your trinkets as well, so you can have nifties and speedbot. Okay, and finally, so now Wizard of Oz. I guess I have footage somewhere. Not that it really matters. So it's multiple bosses at the same time. First is what's her name? Dorothy. She doesn't have a. I mean, okay. So she kind of does have a threat table, but she just attacks people at random with an ability. You just precast heals on whoever's being targeted, and she also summons every so often Tito, the dog, which should be um, always focused. Whoops. Okay. So we killed Dorothy first, except if there's Tito. Tito should be killed first, other than that. Or maybe, okay. Maybe we said kill prior too. Okay. But anyway, they die at the same time. First. Roar. Um, so he should be at all time feared. He uh, so he can be chain feared. Yes, you need to be right. Okay. Okay. Okay, okay, no worries. For I just for the video, I'll keep going. But Roar, just for this encounter, so Roar should be a chain feared at all time, a Warlock, Hunter, Priest, and at like his skill prior 3. Strawman, when he takes fire damage, he has a very high chance of being disoriented. And so we have like fire damage players spam fire damage abilities onto him with like short cast times to make sure he's always perma CC'd. And he will definitely have aggro on the melee, on the caster DPS that do that. He will kill them if he's not chain disoriented, but he should be chain disoriented. He Alternatively, he can also be tanked normally, but it's better to keep him CC'd. Tin Head does a lot of damage, but at the point where we are at, we with our tank gearing, we can absolutely afford to tank him normally. But no, like what he does is he gets increasingly slower as time passes. So we just kite him, and yeah. So Strawman is CC, Tin Head is kited. We kill Dorothy and Tito, and Roar is feared until he's killed. When all of them are dead, the crone appears. She does a chain lightning um, that cannot be interrupted, so you want to spread out. And also, there's going to be tornadoes like running around. The tornado, I think, always follows the same path into the room, so once you know it, it's really easy to avoid it. But yeah, make sure you're spreading out for the crone. However, because the room is really small, ideally you'd rather be like standing on top of one single person, so like in pairs, so that you both take non-lethal damage, but you don't risk chaining to like a third person. And bubble doesn't work, by the way, on the cyclone. You still get incapacitated. That's it for now.